Hey everybody, we are here for a little while tonight. Mike and Jason's live starts at 8 Eastern, I do believe, so we'll be here for about an hour. I want to talk a little bit tonight about IPMS kind of rules and things you look for contest models and things things you might want to do if you're interested in competing, but or even just for improving your models overall, whether it be for a contest or just for yourself. So we'll jump right in on that. And Jimmy's floating around here somewhere. And so we say hi to him. Let me go back to my comments here. There we go. And let's start talking about it. For there's basic things you want to look at for if you're going to be entering models in the contest to be somewhat successful. But for me, I don't care if I win or not, but these are good things to do to just improve your models as well. So we're going to start off with things like the flash, sync mark, ejector pin marks, any of that stuff that's visible on the model, on the body, on fuselage, whatever. You want to get rid of any of that stuff so that you can't see them. A lot of car models and things have trademarks molded into the bottom of the car. You want to make sure to get rid of that kind of stuff and just sand it off. A lot of Tamiya kits or you can put a motor in them. So if you're not actually motorizing them, you need to blank out the switch hole and stuff like that, so you can't see it. Again, seams are filled, if not actually on the car or the plane or whatever. Look at that real quick. I've got one that I'm working on in the process right now. I'm working on the Phantom here. And as you can see, I've started working on the front. It has a seam that runs all the way around it. So this part here, I don't need to worry about because it's not going to be seen. But any of this here and over the top, all will have to be smoothed out, filled, so that there's no trace of it before I primer it. But again, these are things that you don't have to do, but things that may want to look at for improving your skills and modeling and have better looking models just on in general. Things that are another thing to look at, or things like let's say we'll go back to our car here. We're bouncing back and forth. Things like your wheels are all straight in alignment. The ones in the back stick out. You want to make sure that those stick out, let's say equal amounts. And in the car, big one, big one is you don't want the car to rock. Because that's a big one. That'll cost you every time. The car just sits on 3 wheels instead of 4. So you want to kind of look at that and see. Some kits you can't fix it, and some you can. I mean, but these are things to shoot for to improve your modeling skills. And also, make sure things are, if they're supposed to be round, they're round. That the cross section when you're looking at it looks right. So again, with the tires, if tires are not round or don't fit right in the hub on a rubber tire, sometimes they don't fit well. Then they look egg-shaped. They'll count that against you. And again, it's just stuff you want to make your models look better for yourself or the shows. The underside, I usually don't put mine on displays for that, but if you are going to, then you have to pay extra attention to the underside. But you just want to make it, again, clean, even, parts or alignment, engine sitting in there straight, drive shaft, all that, and any sink marks are gone. So I don't generally put them on up where you can see underneath. But if you do, then that's something you want to look at. Or it's just not, again, it's nice to just shoot for that on your models, whether it's showing or not in a contest. Any detail, again, going back to the, go back to the Phantom here. Any detail that I might lose, sure how well it'll show here because it's also being so dark. But any of the detail along the top where the seam is that I might remove, and it shows a little bit there, I need to go back and replace that, either by scribing it in or whatever. What I'll have to do is kind of budget, because these have this is an old kit with raised panel lines, so I'm going to have to work my way around all those lines that go across to not lose them, because on raised ones, when they're gone, unless you're going to go and rescribe the whole thing. But again, that's just that. Those are basic construction stuff. And then any aftermarket parts and kit bash parts, additions, need to blend with the rest of the model. So if you look at here, the engine, wouldn't want put like a 1/18 scale, just exaggerating, but put a 1/20th or 1/18 scale motor and cram it in there, unless you're going for that like zingers, slammers look with the giant oversized engine. You want the things to look in proportion to the model. So that's basic construction stuff. Painting is a big one, especially on cars, on everything, but especially on cars. If the paint job is bad, you're done. But even, we want to strive for a good paint job anyway, say whether you're doing a show or not. Good surface prep. Make sure any glue marks are gone. Like, well, these will be gone on the, again, I'll keep going back to this Phantom. Right here on the nose, you can see where the shiny part, that's where the glue was at. So we'll go in and when we're sanding, that'll go away. Any marks like that, you gotta make sure they're clear. The surface is smooth, got dust on it. Your primer goes down well, stuff you want. Orange peel is another big killer, or eggshell looking stuff, or the powdery looking paint down in the grooves and stuff. That's not going to fly for judging contests, but again, it's more looking towards improving your skills, because the better it is, the happier you're going to be. The different parts, say like the hood, and they're all should be the same. If they're supposed to be the same color, they should be. Try to avoid having one part more glossy than the other, or one part the paint is a little bit darker than the other, things like that. Any paint edge lines should be crisp. So you work on when you're taping down for masking off colors. Make sure you get your stuff burnished down good, so you don't have any bleed under. Or if you do, you fix it. Dry brushing this should not be apparent that you can see it, but it doesn't look, oh, look, you dry brushed that. I mean, paints can vary from batch to batch, so you want to kind of make sure you do. I try to paint everything out of the same can or same bottle or same batch. That's kind of that. And then as far as weathering goes, like on armor stuff, I mean, it's yes and no, or whatever. The big thing on that is the weathering's not there to hide the flaws; it's to enhance the model. Decals be aligned properly. No silvering or bubbling of the decals, which means you want to put it on. Do a gloss finish first. Hey Jess, watched your video today. Your Monsters coach is on the way. Hey Juan, anybody else that might be there?
What's up, Jeff?
Be on for an hour or so. Hey, Donnie, Leon.
What's up, Leon?
I'm just kind of going through the contest stuff. I mean, because we're just doing a short show tonight. The decals, you want to make sure to put those on a gloss finish and not on a flat. If you try to put them on a flat finish, you're going to get the silvering. They should blend in with the rest of the finish to look like they're painted on. That's where your decal set can come in. And if you're doing a weathered vehicle and you put a fresh, bright decal on it, it's going to look off. As I said, it should be the same glossiness as on the final finish as they would be on the real finish, such as if you're going to put a contingency sticker or bumper sticker on it, should, unless it's supposed to look like it's brand new and the car's old type thing, you don't want them to match. And then we'll look at a couple. I know most of the guys that come into the lives here are car guys, so we'll go down to the car stuff and kind of look at some car actual sub things that you want to look for. Again, we already talked about the seam lines being filled. It's especially important on a car body. It's not a big issue for a lot of kits, because a lot of kits, the body's all one piece, so there are no real actual seam lines. You got mold lines. The mold seams, you got to make sure to take care of those. They normally run across the top of the fender, up the front A-pillar, along the drip rail, and then down the C-pillar or B-pillar, whatever you have there, and then across the trunk and down the back. You want to make sure to get those off. And again, it makes your car look better whether you're showing it or not in a contest. On the underside here, you want to make sure, if you can, kind of make sure there's not a big gap between the chassis and the side of the body. Just wanted everything to look, again, smooth and neat more than anything else. And what we talked about before, all the wheels need to be touching the ground. Some judges I've seen will they'll take your I don't have one here. You got a sheet of paper that you got all your stuff on, your information on, and they'll take that and they'll try and slide it under all four wheels and see if it fits under. If it fits under, they'll gig you for that. So, but it looks nicer on your car, whether it's just sitting on a shelf that all the wheels are touching down. Some kits said earlier you can't do anything about it. They're just not. They're twisted or whatnot, or they just don't want to sit. But you can usually figure it out and get them to work. And then another big one. If you decide to turn your wheels for steering, like have them cocked for a pose, make sure both of them are turned the same amount in the same direction. That's a big one. They will catch you on that one all the time. But again, it's stuff that looks better whether you're doing a contest or not. Chrome parts should be correctly represented and should be free of surface blemishes and evidence of construction process as the painted components. So yeah, if you're not going to strip the chrome, you at least need to get a Molotov pen or something that you can touch up where the screw was attached and things like that. And I don't think it shows up on this one, but get in there tight enough. Yeah, it does if it get real tight. It was after this one took a first place. I actually broke the bar while picking it up to clean it. It just shows up. I broke it and I fixed it, but you can still see the mark in there. So if I wanted to enter this one in another contest, I would get gigged for that real quick. So what I need to do is take it out and put it and make a new one and put it in there, which is not a big deal. I just haven't done it. So we're talking about all the weathering. If you're doing like an old rust bucket car, or doing a car that's in like being repaired, that you want to keep that weathering and stuff realistic looking. You don't want it overboard on it. Again, weathering should be enhancing and not covering up. For detailing, they want contour areas corrected. That would be like on the good example of that would be on these GTO kits. When you get them, the nose grill piece doesn't fit the body very well. You got to do a lot of sanding and trimming to get that up to fit right. And one flaw it does still have, which I don't usually fix because it's too much of a pain. The back bumper here is just a hair too short from side to side. I usually just try to even out the shortness on both sides, and then you don't notice it. But that's one of them. That type of thing that you want to fix. If your exhaust pipes are visible, you should try to drill out the ends. Or what I did here, I kind of hit them with the drill a little bit to sink them in, and I painted them black inside. You want the tips to be hollow if at all possible. Engine detailing should be consistent. This is another one. It bugs me when I see it. Engine detail should be consistent with the rest of the build. I see a lot of cars on a table that have a fully plumbed, wired engine with aluminum air breathers and everything, actual rubber belts and everything, rubber hoses and Protect parts, everything in there. And the engine bay is there and perfect and everything, and then they just put it on the rest of the body is falls short because they don't do the body up to the level of the interior of the engine, or the other way around. Of course, a lot of those are the other way around, where the body and car is a lot more detailed than the engine. You just leave the hood on. On those, you'll see that at the shows a lot. If the engine detail is not real high, they'll leave the hood on. But speaking of hoods, you're going to have the hood on the car, and then if you're not going to have the hood on the car, you want to make sure it fits. You want to make sure it fits well. IPMS shows they're not supposed to touch your model at all, but a lot of shows I go to, they will. If you have the hood off, I usually put them on these little stands next to it. When they go to judge it, they'll pick this up and drop it down. Pick the model up and they'll pick the hood up and drop it down on the body and make sure it fits.
Make sure the paint matches from the hood and the body too.
Yeah, make sure the paint is the same and it fits well. This one fits pretty good. It's a little bit crooked, but so for 50-year-old tooling, it's not too bad. The hood on this one does fit really well. The seams and gaps are the same all the way around, and it fits really well. And if you have opening, it's another big one. If you have opening doors and things, you want to try to make your hinges match the level of workmanship of the rest of the car. And anything operating like that, if it's visible, it should kind of look scale. I know it's kind of hard to do sometimes, like the trunk with the paperclip hinges, but you can do a lot to hide that look on those if you're going to do it that way. We'll go over the one last one here. I'm not going to, and for you guys, this category right here, armor, is the most anal retentive guys and class that you could ever enter a model in. Everything has to be spot on perfect. I mean, if you want to see a category with rivet counters, here it is. Again, I usually don't enter one. Hey, Stephen, how are you tonight? Who's this? I was trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. Oh, build a Coca-Cola theme kit, but use the van kit. That would be cool. There's not a whole lot of van kits out there, but there are a few. Hey, Bill. Yeah, a lot of people, when they spray their car bodies, they even use car paint. Paint if you got the doors and stuff that open, you do all the door jams and spray the whole body. Try to spray it all at the same time. Yeah, treat each part like it's its own separate model. Yeah, Jess is the one to look to because she is probably one of the premier car models out there. Her last two vans are just super amazing. A round of applause for Jess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get to the armor, and this one I didn't do all the things that they tell you to do, but because it just some of it is just insanely idiotic. But that's the way armor is. If you have your gun barrel, they want excuse me, for top model, they want to have your gun barrels drilled out. A lot of people will use the brass ones for that because they can have the hollow. The barrel, if it's not completely round from sanding the seam out or the mold marks, they'll gig you for that. Any open hatch, if it's not filled by like these have the figures in it, any detail that you could see through the hatch needs to be there, or they will gig you for it. The tracks need to be aligned. Take this up a little.
Damn, they are anal about it.
And on the same way, your wheel bogies ought to be the same way. Everything needs to be perfect alignment. Having stowage, or like here for Fury, there's the logs on the side. They will gig you. They'll judge you on the way you tied the ropes on, or the way the stowage on the top here is. If it's not just sitting there and not tied down, they'll deduct points for it. All the things like that. Take this off before I don't drop it. I'll go to the bottom. See underneath here, if it was a Tamiya kit, it would probably be motorized. Get this where you can see it. So wherever the motor parts would go, or the battery box isn't that, unless it actually has it in there, it's got to be gone. But so they're the most anal modelers you'll ever meet, and the most critical modelers that you'll ever see at a show. But they also do some of the best work. But yeah, there we go. That's what we're just a quick overview on stuff to look for in your models that could help make them better. And if you do put them up on the contest table, that you kind of have an idea what they're looking for and things to do. Mark Blue Streak is here. I have something for you. Have a good day. Good day at work. Bilge is over in Australia, so he it's probably the middle of the evening over there. I guess I can never keep. They're 18 hours ahead of us where I'm at. They're here. They look beautiful. But yeah, that's kind of on me. Jimmy disappeared, so I guess it is just me right now. He'll be back, I'm sure. Do you need to do all that stuff for your models? No. I just kind of said, if you want to be successful at contests, that's the things you want to look at. Hey, Marcus, email me your address stuff so I can get them up to you. Yeah, they look perfect. They look like they're brand new. I mean, look like they were printed yesterday. And I got them for the opening bid too. So, but I'll hear some of your guys' thoughts too. If anybody wants to hop in and discuss it, you're more than welcome. And Jesse, I watched your video on the Monsters house. I'm glad you're finally doing it. You have to throw some lighting in there too to light up all the window films. Be kind of cool. Let's see what else we did. Anybody said while I was rambling on there for 20 minutes or whatever. That's pretty much everybody saying hello to everybody. Say score any new kits, any old ones looking for anything. I am kind of on a kit buying hiatus right now until I go to the Acme show in October. I did buy I did buy one for the Hobby Link Boyd Crompton Halloween build, and it should be here in a couple of days. No problem, Jess. I had it, and I said I would give it to you once you did my shop card shout out, which you did. I was going to bring it to you at Acme, but since it would be awful close to the end date for the build, I went ahead and mailed it to you. So you should have it in a couple of days. It's one of the Johnny Lightning ones. You can find my email. Well, what I'll do here, I can put it here. Put it there, but it's also on my channel page. Hey, Kevin. We're just hanging out for a while until Mini Mike's and Jason's live starts I think it starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, which is in about half an hour. But yeah, I bought the Mobius Grim Reaper. That's the only kit I bought lately for the Boyd Crompton Halloween build. And there's a lot of neat things you can do with paint, especially if you want to get your card noticed at a show. The more eye-catching the paint is, the better chance you'll have at the show. So,
especially something like that color change.
Yeah, color. I love color change. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong button. There you go.
That's just a little test spray. It's not the best, but it's okay for now. It's only showing the gold. It's kind of purple.
I'm picking up the purple too.
It's got a red tint to it too, but it's not picking up the red very well. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll show on the table. The same thing here.
Let me go grab the other one. I'm in test spraying. So I've been testing out a bunch.
So the camera doesn't pick it up greatest here, but this one has a blue to purple color shift on it because the lights are in the wrong direction for what I need to show it here. But yeah, it does pick it up some. But that's the kind of thing that will help your model stand out.
Here we go.
You want to get noticed. Yeah.
Oh, that's not showing very well. It's got a red metal flake in it, but it's not showing very well.
Yeah, when it catches the light, yeah, it does. It's good stuff. I love color shift.
There we go. That's not really color shift. It's a red metal flake.
Oh well, yeah, but it's going to gives the same effect as a color shift. That's what most color shift is. It just has a color. It's a clear with a heavy amount of flake in it. So that when you see it, and then as it dries, the flakes align themselves. So when you see it from one angle, you see the one color, and when you see it the other angle, you see the different color. And it's usually just all on black to help light it up from behind.
Like I've been trying out.
You're gonna clear that one.
The red metal flake, it's got three or four layers of clear on it. I've never clear coated a kit, so I got a can. I've been trying it out. Like this Cadillac's the first kit I've ever cleared. This camera's not picking it up very well, but it's a bubblegum pink.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell, but I've got about 3 layers on it. And the last layer was a little too thick and it ran a little bit, so I need to wet sand it a little bit.
You can wet sand it, and it's good to wet sand it anyway, and then polish it up. That's the whole purpose of a clear, is to give you layers that you can sand and polish, and keep the original finish. And even like this car, I probably should have put a couple more coats on it, but I did more than I did. But it's got more of an actual one stage paint that the car would have had originally, because this is about. Oh, that was one other thing I want to talk about. It's box stock. That's why I even got this one out. lot of shows will have a box stock category or out of box category. And the big deal there is you have to have, this is the wrong one, but you have to have the instructions with the kit on the table. You'll say, well, look at that. And you can't add, with a very few exceptions, you can't add anything to the kit that's not already in the box unless the instruction calls for it. So like on a biplane, if the instructions show you how to do the rigging, you can add it. Or the World War II airplanes usually had an antenna that ran from the top of the tail down to right behind the cockpit. You can add that, but you can't. And this one is a bone stock kit. There's nothing extra added to it at all. Because if you add anything to it, then it's not a box stock. If you change the wheels, it's not a box stock. If you add anything doesn't come in the box, there's some things you can get away with. If you wanted to put plug wires in it, technically you could stretch the sprue to make your wires and glue them in. But if you go overboard even doing that, they'll bump you out of the box stock category. And the idea of the box stock is to give average modelers, you and me, and some younger people or earlier people, a chance to throw a model on. Same thing with a curbside kit, to show, put a model on the tables and not have to go up against a guy that with 80,000 3D printed parts and spent $800 on the paint for the car, and those guys. Gives you a chance to compete on a more level basis. And some shows even have allow you to pick categories if you're beginner, average, or advanced modeler. Not all, but some do. So be right back, Jess. Okay, we're here. See what they're doing to your car. Yeah, so that's kind of in the barrel side. I put models on the table, good, bad, or indifferent. And if they get something, they get something. But it's fun to do it because you push yourself. You start finding you push yourself. I used to only build box stock. You can take me off a big screen. I used to only build box stock. When the thing was gone, I started adding spark plug wires over time, and then I started looking at different wheels over time. And yeah, Kevin, box stock. I built. If you go into my aircraft category, it's 99% box stock. My armor, well, I only got three pieces of armor, and two of them are completely box stock. This one, I added the resin figures to the tank, so it would not qualify as box stock, but it's as close as one as I can have. Box stock is a cool category. So I like curbside category too. But shows as a curbside, because you don't have to worry about what's underneath or in the engine compartment because it's all closed up and done, and you can throw a super killer paint job onto a curbside kit and knock it out of the park. The Bonneville that's a curbside kit. The red Camaro that I did earlier this year is a curbside kit. The green Ford GT I just finished, that's a curbside kit. And you can focus on just the finish and the overall appearance, whether as opposed to the minutia on those, and get a really good job. Hey Jay, how are you?
This one is a little bit, Kevin, the metal flake, just because, like I said, I've never clear coated anything, so this was like my first kind of test on clear coat. So it looks I sprayed it a little too heavy. Now I just know to spray it a little lighter because it is a little washy looking.
Yeah, you do light passes on it. And then you can go like every 15 minutes, you can go light pass and build it up. And then read it. Read whatever the instructions on the can say. Some of them, if you do everything with an hour, or then you got anything over an hour, then you got to wait 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it says.
That's what I did with this. And then the last coat was a little too thick. Otherwise, it was turning out really good.
Yeah,
So,
usually my third, I usually do 3 coats, and the third one I'll do a little. The first one is just a dusting. It's just like
yeah,
gives it a grab on to the body. The second one's a little bit heavier, but even. And then I go with the third one. Yeah, a lot of the Tamiya kits are curbside. My Lamborghini LP 500 is curbside. It's got the top of the motor. Yeah,
like
that's
this
a
is
curb. Yeah,
curbside, and this is what that color shift I just showed is going on.
yeah.
Since it's curbside, I'm going to go real wild on the paint and the wheels.
And that's what I did with the Bonneville. I did put turn it. I call it the Sunday sleeper. I lowered it down, put some Vector wheels and some Racemaster tires on it, and put a killer paint job on it. And that's what it wanted. It's a killer paint job. That it's a color shift paint job. It's a red with a pink champagne color shift on it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't see any solvent pop on there, but I'm looking at a tiny little picture. So, but even if it does, that's something you when you're sanding it, wet sanding it, you can take that out.
It probably does, Kevin. Like I said, that was my first go around with attempting to use clear coat because I wanted to go all out on the Cadillac.
Yeah,
And
solvent pop will look like little bubbles here and there. If you get, you might be a little
yeah,
fingerprint oil on it or something. But usually you can wet sand that, and then you can always go back and hit it again. If you wet sand it down and it's still not quite smooth enough, you can always hit it one more time with the clear, let it dry, and wet sand and polish it again. You get it glass smooth.
the
Eventually
only
you'll
other
get.
issue with the Cadillac paint is I probably should have put one more actual coat of paint on it before I cleared it, but it'll be all right. It'll still look good on the shelf. That ain't no show winner, but fuck it. I like it. It looks really good.
That's the main thing. If you like it and it looks good. So those things I was talking about is just things that can help improve your own building. And if you do decide to put a car on the table or plane or boat or ship modelers, are pretty anal too, but not as bad as the auto armor
This
guys.
this is the only one I'm going all out. Going to try to do some show quality stuff on.
Yep.
Is of course an OBS Chevy. Surprise. But yeah, I've been looking at some pre-wired distributors and how to wire distributors. So I've been gathering up some shit to try it.
I usually drill them out, and I've got this 22. I'm almost down. This is radio. Got it when Radio Shack was still around. 22,000 solder because it's just the right thickness for spark plug wires or plumbing, and I can paint it whatever color, and it'll hold its shape. But you can also use like take your old charging cords from your cell phones or old phone cords, and you can strip the outer insulation and use the inner wires. Hey,
Yeah,
Britta.
I've been looking at a lot of stuff like that. I just seen some real small soldering at Harbor Freight yesterday, and I didn't even think about grabbing it.
Yeah, then you can use bigger stuff. I use some bigger stuff. I want to make new radiator hoses. You can use it
I've
for
got real
making
thick
headers,
ones for exhaust and stuff. I've been
exhaust
using.
pipes. Yeah,
Who's texting me? What do you want?
yeah. There's a lot of things out out in the wild that you can use for modeling that you wouldn't normally think about being a modeling thing.
Oh yeah.
Hey Norm, how are you tonight?
I've gotten pretty crafty at modeling on a budget, so I'll think of something.
Oh yeah, even like stuff like the sanding sticks and stuff. If you buy these in the beauty section at Walmart, you're going to pay a third of the price of what you're going to pay for them in a hobby shop for the same stuff. Or like a lot of people now say going to paint, they're using the fingernail polish. You can get a bottle of fingernail polish for a couple of dollars, and then you thin it in half with unicorn tears, and you can spray that on your cars and get wonderful finishes for for not a whole lot of money.
Yeah. It's hot down. I just drink coffee. So, shit. But yeah, OBS I'm going with. I use the frame from the Foos F100 on it. I made the radiator from the Foos F100 work. The aluminum Roush motor work. And then Jay's has I finally found a set of rims I really like on Jay's that I just need to order. I haven't ordered anything in a while. I set some money aside to order some stuff, and I just haven't ordered anything.
Yeah, so I'm on kind of a buying hiatus until I can.
Yeah, I'm like that with the kits right now. The only reason I bought two from Hobby Lobby the other day was their parts kits, and I needed the parts out of them for this truck. So I need the Foos F100 parts for this truck, and then the 78 big game truck. I use the frame and suspension out of that kit a lot, and I've got a kit that's about to get four-wheel drive.
Okay, Mark. Yeah, I'll get it mailed out. I can almost fit it inside a shop cart envelope. I think if I trim it just a little bit, it'll fit in there, and I can send you a shop cart at the same time. Because, but they look beautiful. They look as good as the day they were printed. What I can do is if I cut it, cut these off and split them, then it'll fit in the shop cart. As long as you don't want the paper instructions. If you want those, then I'll have to do something different. But these won't fit in there. The paper instructions. But the decals, yeah, if I can cut it and just cut the big bottom decorations off as a separate sheet, and they'll fit into a shop cart envelope. So I'll send you a shop cart in that.
I'll say if they don't fit, you can mail something like this.
Oh, I know I can, but we're sending it to Canada, so there's a difference between $1.50 and $7 or $8.
Oh, okay.
I send one of these, it's $7 or $8.
Oh yeah.
Send an envelope. That's the envelope that actually came in. But if I send a shop cart envelope with a shop cart in it, and the decals is $1.50. Okay, yeah, all right, I'll do that. I will get them wrapped up in wax paper and with the shop cart, and I will put them in the mail tomorrow. So. Hey, Edward. I don't have a countdown clock yet on his. On his thing yet, so we'll keep going until I see countdown clock or the show start, either one. Or if you're out there, Mike, just give me a heads up when you're going to start, and then we'll end here, because I don't want to cut into your time, and we can all pop over onto your show.
Is he getting anybody on his show tonight, like he did with Jason?
Oh yeah, Paul from West Coast Models. It's going to be Mike and Jason are hosting, and they're going to have Paul from Left Coast Models.
Wait. Man, I wish the damn color of this caddy would show up a little better. It is a beautiful color.
It looks like the right pink. I mean, in your cameras and your lights, it always wash out the color.
Yeah, it's a bubblegum pink, the closest to Elvis pink, basically. And then I've got it white interior, white top. I painted the air cleaner and the valve covers matching pink on a all aluminum motor. Nah, I've just got a couple other things that.
Yep, congratulations, Marks, on hitting 2,400 subs. I'm only 1,000 behind you.
Oh, cool. Speaking
And
of,
I've got a whole $6 being monetized on YouTube.
I told myself if I was ever gonna hit 1,000 subscribers, I'd do a giveaway. And then I hit 1,000 subscribers and spaced. I was ever gonna do anything. I kept over here. I wanted to do.
Well, I did too, and then what I wanted to do, I couldn't because the big hobby shop there in St. Louis, Mark Twain Hobby, I was going to buy gift cards from them. They have gift cards, but you can't use their gift cards on their website. You can only use them in the store.
Really?
Yeah. So they said you could. You'd have to call in your order and give them the gift card number over the phone, and which hassle.
Well, you could do like
it's easier than trying to find. If I just pick out a kit, and it might not be what somebody's after. Rather than $75 gift card and they get whatever the hell they want.
What is one of them things called a Visa gift card? Are those like do anything gift cards?
Yeah, those are do anything. The idea was that from this hobby shop that I'm supporting them by giving them the sale.
Yeah.
And then you can go, they've got probably conservatively, they probably have
my dad's calling me.
15,000 models on the shelves.
Yeah. My dad just called me, so that means he wants me. I'll be right back.
All right. And so that's what I wanted to do is get a gift card from them so that you could the winner could just go on their website and pick out whatever they wanted and buy it. I may go ahead and do that for the 1,500 if I ever get there. But it seems lately that every time I gain 10, I lose 5. Then do the good old YouTube logarithms. But we may do that when I get to 15. Because even then they have like free shipping over $60 or $69. So if I do a $75 gift card, you can pick out your model and get it for no shipping and nothing. Turn that off at the big screen. Yep, just it says doesn't have a countdown. Yeah, guys, if you're not subbed to everybody, kind of sub everybody up. Give them some love. I think most everybody here is probably subbed. But so check every once in a while because last week I found out that YouTube had unsubbed me from Brian at Workout Fuels. I mean, I watch every video he puts out. And last Saturday I was like, well, why didn't the notification pop up for his Saturday night live stream? I went, what? And I was no longer subscribed. So if you kind of notice somebody missing from your feed, pop onto their channel and make sure you're still subscribed to them. Because I have no clue what the criteria is for when they unsub you from somebody, or if they just random. It just does it at random. Don't know. Yeah, they are ridiculous. They do all kinds of strange, goofy things, but they are the elephant or the 800-pound gorilla. I mean, they're the king of the hill. I've tried some of the other services and servers for doing video stuff on, and you just don't get the traction. Oh, have fun, Britta. You want to go to Norway to meet a friend? Take care. Take you too. I'm glad you found somebody. So, you guys have any thoughts on contest type stuff? contest models, things to look for, things to do, things that you notice. Like one thing, if I was a judge, I'd have a hard time, um, especially like in aircraft models. I hate the dissected frog look. But, that's got everything open, all the panels opened up, showing the video, all the interior detail and all that. But to me, I hate that look. Most of the time, I leave my hoods on my cars. Unless it's just super detailed, I usually leave it on. I'm glad you found somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Sorry, we're gonna get demonetized. The old Blues Brothers movie. Someone to love. Yeah, Google. I think they kind of screwed up when they took the Google Plus platform down. I liked it much better than Facebook. It was more focused. Your groups were more focused and had the ability to live stream straight to there. And it worked out really well. I mean, that's where a lot of the Facebook communities, that's where they started, was around Google Plus. And then when Google Plus platform was shut down, everybody moved their group platforms over to Facebook, and it just hasn't been the same. You didn't have over there. You didn't have the spammers and scammers and T-shirt sellers and my Facebook group that I run. That's our biggest issue: is people, scammers, identity thieves type scammers trying to making up fake T-shirts. And trying to sell them on the group. That's our biggest. Or I get friend requests every 3 times a day from somebody wanting to sell weight loss programs or how to pay off your mortgage in 2 years type thing, be debt free in a year, all those multi-level marketing things. The MLMs, that's what should be like your Amway and your Avon used to be, or Mary Kay and all that stuff is now. Multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes. So they didn't have, Google seemed to be, you'd be able to filter that crap out a lot easier. But still not showing a countdown on there. There's 4 people waiting for him to start. What time is it? It is 5 till. We'll give it another couple of minutes and then I'm gonna shut this down. So yeah, you guys have any thoughts on building for contests or improving your mock skills by following contest kind of guidelines? Yeah, Britta got herself a Swedish cream pup. She's a happy camper now. They're growing pretty good there in Sweden. You gotta take your time and do the best you can do. Yeah, and that's part of like saying, getting a smooth paint finish and Not rushing. Yeah, that's a big thing. I'm guilty of that. When I get close to the finish line, I can see the end in sight. I tend to rush. And that's usually when I screw things up. Sometimes I get happy accidents doing that, but usually that's when I screw things up. In fact, the one kit that I need to do probably towards the top of the pile is the 66 GTO, which this is a 67 here. I'm going to do one for every year except for 73. Built the 66 probably 7 years ago, and got it perfect. And I was polishing the paint, and somehow I got a chunk of something on the buffing wheel, and it just chewed through that paint finish like that. I mean, I have not built the 120 Tyrrell P34 GP race car. I don't build a whole lot of race cars. I've only built one Ferrari Formula One car, and Herbie the Love Bug. I built Herbie the Love Bug. That counts as a race car. And then a couple NASCARs and a couple stock cars, but yeah, never done any of the Indy or Formula One or when Mike gets around to sending it to me, I'm going to do a Trans Am style car, the wide body road racing car. Oh yes, test fitting. Test fitting is a big deal. So that's the biggest thing on this one. The GTO is you got to test fit and sand and test fit and sand and test fit and sand until you can get this front on there. I'm going to go ahead and knock him out because he's not going to be back before we're gone. Get this to fit, because you see a raw kit, these are almost probably 1/8 of an inch gap between the top of the fender and the top of the headlight bucket. And it's just things like that take your time. Fitting, test fit. Hey, Boston, got here just in time for us to shut down pretty much. They should be starting any time now, but I don't see it. So we'll hang until about another minute. We'll hang out and see. I'm just going to shut it down because that's all I planned on doing was pulling in an hour or two tonight. So, and I wanted to kind of do a talk about what I did to, contest models. And one thing IPMS does now, they're nationals, and most of the chapters are supposed to do this. The judges are not supposed to touch the model when they're judging. You'll see a lot of shows where they'll pick them up and turn them over, and I hate that, because if they mess it up and break it, I'm not a happy camper. Yeah, the AMT and the MPC are the same tooling. The original original demo cars, and they just this one I've gotten rid of it. It still has part of it. These were the still had the pieces in there where you screw the chassis on, and so they've written. Thanks. But you know what, JB, whether you think you're going to win or not, put a model on the table, and then you can you kind of hang out around your model, and you can kind of see people look at it, talk about it. He's on. Okay, we'll cut it off anyway. Yeah, enter and you never know. See what happens, and you can talk and have discussions on it. All right, guys, we'll see you over on Mike's live. And with that, I want to say good morning, good evening, good night. We'll see you on the other live. Bye bye.